but it's only by the will and by the grace of God that all of these things have happened. And I think for me, I think God just needed to use somebody. You mean more than the world to me.
As you may know, Tua Tagovailoa has openly professed his love and faith in Jesus Christ. With that comes a lot of obligation. As a Christian, I understand the obligations of being a man of faith. In addition, many members of the Miami Dolphins football team have also professed their faith as well. So this video, which may come across as a rant, is actually a direct call to Tua Tagovailoa to stand up, to be a leader, and do something about what's going on social media. If you know Tua, or if Tua ever sees this video, please understand, with all due respect, you're the captain. You're the guy who's leading this ship. You have to stand up and take some action. It's time for a leader to assume that leadership role and do something about what's happening on social media. What started out as a joke, this whole Tuanon crap, has become an infamia. It's evil, it's demented, it's a boil on humanity that has to be excised right now. Many of you watching this probably don't even go on Twitter, but lately the conversation around Tua has devolved into something sewerish, really nasty, and as I said earlier, demented and somewhat evil. We all have opinions. Nobody says you have to agree with someone's opinion, but it's an opinion, and personal attacks have reached a whole new level on Twitter. Some of you may know a prominent YouTuber called TD Fins Talk. Yesterday, TD had his life threatened because he had an opinion about Tua Tagovailoa that other people didn't like. And instead of calling out the guy who made the death threat, many people piled on in agreement. I gotta believe that this isn't something that Tua would approve of whatsoever. In fact, I know, following Christ myself, there's no possible way that Tua would approve of this. So right now, I think Tua needs to step out, be a leader, and say, enough is enough. Stop it. This isn't what I want in my name. I don't want this type of fandom. This isn't good for anybody. It's not good for the community. It's not good for the team. It really looks stupid. It really does look demented. What is wrong with you people? I don't ask you, nor do I expect everyone to agree with my opinions. The same for TD Fins Talk. Even the same for Dudley Do Wrong. We all have our own opinions. It doesn't make you right, doesn't make me wrong. Doesn't make me wrong, doesn't make you right. The whole thing, it doesn't make any sense. It's sports talk. Chris Sims, he has an opinion, and everybody trashes him. That's not how this is supposed to be. Have your opinion, enjoy your opinion, support your opinion, but to wish death upon somebody who has a different opinion, that's a whole different level of nuttiness. That's a whole different level of cultishness. I expect at this point that those of you who believe in Christ should also be calling these people out and letting people know this isn't acceptable. This is not how people should act towards one another. It's abhorrent and it has to stop. And I believe the person who can make it stop is Tua. Even one of the guys who he pays to help train him is out there just denigrating people who have a different opinion. It doesn't make any sense. I've never seen anything like this except in politics, where people feel it's okay, where they have no problem hiding behind a keyboard and calling people the most vile of names. And now we're escalating to death threats. This isn't new. Check out this video from Dudley Do Wrong. He had to make a video. He had to get on his channel and tell people enough is enough. If I do a video with Barry Cunningham and TD Fins Talk, it doesn't mean the end of the world. If you want to unsubscribe, unsubscribe. But damn, people, what is wrong with you? Check out what Doug said.
Before we jump into that, I have to address something. And normally I only address something if it is brought up to me or if it is commented enough that I need to address it. And the thing I got to address is the fact that TD Fins Talk invited me on his channel the other day with Barry Cunningham and wanted to have a conversation with me. And that bothered some people. And they said to me, how dare you? You sold out. Why would you stoop so low? I'm done with, like, some people are genuinely upset with me about why I went on TD's channel. First and foremost, I've been friends with TD for 5 years. When me and him first started doing this stuff 5 years ago, we've became friends, right? So just because TD has changed the way he does his channel, or his opinion has changed, or, you know, he's got more, you know, rugged or whatever you want to say, doesn't mean that as a person, he's not the same friend I've had for the past 5 years, right? And some people think that the fact that I associate myself with him is like a bad show of my character. I'm not changing. My channel hasn't changed. My opinion hasn't changed, any of that stuff. So that's a little silly to me. The other thing, why did I go on his channel, right? You ever watch him and Barry? And him and Barry know, and you can go on Twitter and you could see me going at them, getting, you know, they say things that I disagree with, and I go right back at them. You could see it on Twitter. Me, TD, and Barry TD and Barry have a lot in common. Me, TD, and Barry have not a lot in common. And I go back at them a lot. That was the whole point of me going on TD's channel. You ever watch them and say, that's not true? Nope, that's not true. Oh my God, you're just making stuff up now. And wanted to say something to him. That was the whole point of me going on the channel. He was asking me questions about Tua, about the O-line, this, that, and all the other things. And I went on to answer the questions. And if they said something that I didn't think was true, or if they tried to push a false narrative or anything, I was going to push back on them, because no one really does on their channels. That was the whole point of me going on their channels. And that if I go on in the future, that's the whole point. If they say something like Tua sucks and he's this, and that, I'm like, that's not true at all. Tua is a one-read quarterback. That's not true. And I'll pull up film. If they say these things, I'm there to push back. That's the point. But first and foremost, I've been friends with TD for 5 years. I understand that he's rubbing a lot of you guys the wrong way. Understandably, because again, he's you gotta like him. You don't like him, then you're not gonna like him, especially on Twitter when he trolls a lot of people. He gets me sometimes. Like I said, I go at him on Twitter. He gets me sometimes. But to question my character and to come after me because I went on his channel to make sure they stay the status quo and don't say anything outlandish, it's a little unfair to me, a little bit, because my opinion hasn't changed. I'm still making the same content. I'm still saying the same things. I'm still the same person. So there's that. And it's kind of sad that I had to explain that.
Let me just say this. If you disagree with what I say, go ahead and hit the unsubscribe button right now, because I'm not going to stop. I've also put a filter in place on many of the comments, so if you do say something derogatory, it's likely I'll never see it anyway. Twitter doesn't seem to have that filter other than to block or ban somebody, which I use quite profusely. If you come at me with an ad hominem or just some sort of personal attack, boom, you're gone. I have nothing to say to you. Some of you guys wear it as a badge of honor. You think somebody's being soft. No, it's not being soft. It means you have nothing of value to add to a conversation. The entire premise of Twitter, the entire premise of social media was so that we all could interact and engage with each other. It wasn't meant to be weaponized by demented cultish people to attack one another. That's not its meaning. If that's what you're using it for, trust me, you're doing it all wrong. I've done business, I've done transactions, I've bought houses, I've gotten clients, and I've had fun working with people on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc. If your existence is tied to using Twitter to give death threats and to just spew vile stuff, trust me, you're doing it wrong. You're completely doing it wrong. If you think it makes you look cool, no, it makes you look like an idiot. And at this point, yeah, we all know Tua doesn't get on social media. Of course he doesn't, because if he saw this, I'm sure his head would flip. Tua Tagovailoa and some of the other Miami Dolphins have to stop and understand that this is affecting the Miami Dolphins community. It's not cute. It's not fun. It's nothing but toxic and demented. And I think somebody of prominence, Tua, Tehran, one of you guys needs to step in and go, enough, stop. It's spreading. It's not getting better. It's spreading. The guy got a death threat. TD is a father. He is a husband. And he got a death threat because he dare say something negative about Tua Tagovailoa. Oh my God, he said something negative. Grow up. This is social media. You can hide behind an anonymous profile. You can be the keyboard warrior that you think you are, but it hurts people. The dude has a family. The dude has a wife. He has a life. And yeah, he may run multiple channels on multiple different topics and teams, but you can't define somebody else's level of fandom because you're insane. You are absolutely not in a position to describe who somebody else is. You can disagree. You can say what I'm saying right now is Barry, it's trash. No problem. That's your opinion. You can say what TD says is trash. No problem. You can say Dudley Do Wrong is trash. No problem. But you can't attack people and expect that people aren't gonna just push back. It's time. It is time right now. We are led as Miami Dolphins fans of whatever level we are by a Christian, God-fearing man at quarterback. And it's time for that God-fearing man to step up to a microphone at the next press conference and say, excuse me, I have a word. I have something to say before you guys start your questions. Knock it off. Knock it off with the venom. Knock it off with the weaponization. Knock it off with the death threats. Knock it off with the ad hominems. This team is not going to progress with a broken community behind it. And I also want you people to step up. I know it's kind of hard. I know most of you don't expect to take the barbs and arrows like we do who put ourselves in front of cameras. But if you see somebody say something stupid, no, if you see somebody saying something threatening, something vile, step up, say something. The one thing this country has to do is for good people not to let evil exist. Good people not to let evil promulgate and spread. Don't accept it. Don't accept abnormality as being normal. And I mean that on all facets. If you see people acting abnormal, don't feel you have to play along with it. Don't feel like they can hurt you. Arm yourself every single morning. I'm sure every single one of the Miami Dolphins players, when they put on that helmet and get on the field, they don't go looking and wondering if they're going to be hurt. They put on the armor. And those of you who know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This has to stop. There's no place for it in society, and there's no place for it in sports. Nobody should be getting death threats for anything. Anything. In fact, it's illegal. In fact, if you see that kind of crap and you don't feel like you can, say something, report it to Twitter, report it to YouTube, get these people bounced. Don't let them stay on a platform. Don't let them continue to spew their venom and evil ways. Get rid of them. They do not deserve to be on these platforms, period. Twitter is taking a really strong stance against people who act like this. This guy got death threats, man. Death threats. Let people know that you don't accept this. Disagree, but disagree with cordiality. Disagree vehemently. But crossing the line into making people apologize on videos and making people feel like they did something wrong because they talked to somebody. Doug talked to me. Doug talked to TD, and people had a problem. That's not normal. That's crazy. Enjoy football. Enjoy the game. Enjoy being a fan, but don't be a fan of insanity. Don't be a fan of abnormality. Don't be a fan of death threats. Let people know this isn't cool, man. It's not cool at all. Dial it back. And any of you guys who have a YouTube channel and have a platform and have a voice, I'm calling you out as well. Big O, stop. Stop telling people that they're nuts. Stop telling people, I mean, yesterday you had somebody on your show who was denigrating TD. Why? Why would you do that? Doesn't make you seem any bigger. If you want to talk football, talk football. Why are people feeling a need to denigrate somebody else? And I'm not talking about skills. I'm not talking about content. If you don't like my content, you don't like my content. But come on, man, we gotta stop being those kinds of people who talk crap about people to the point of inciting fans to issue death threats upon other people. That's just how I feel. Maybe I was brought up a different way. I don't threaten people. They don't do anything to me but have an opinion. They haven't struck out against my wife. Doesn't make any sense, man. Stand up. And Tua, it's time you took the lead on this. Nobody deserves that kind of, I don't even know what you call it. They don't deserve to be threatened. They don't deserve to have their life threatened, man. The guy's a father and a husband, and it's just not fair. And whether or not he makes a dime on doing what he does or he doesn't, he's still out there trying. He's still trying to overcome all of the crap in life right now and do something successful for himself and his family. And you demented people are doing nothing for this community, and you're doing nothing for the team. Two, I think this is on you. You're the captain. You're the leader. You're directing this ship. You're guiding it into and out of port. Right now, as a man, as a God-fearing man, I believe it is up to you to stand up and put an end to this. Not that everyone's going to do what you say, but at least vocalize that giving death threats and ad hominem attacks against other fans, we're not even talking about people from other teams, other fans of this community, is not something you accept or tolerate. Be the man, step up. Not sure if you ever see this, but I hope enough people tell you about it where you gotta stop this. Let me know what you think about the vitriol in the Miami Dolphins community. Talk to you soon. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?